No! Newly revealed changes to the Blu-ray editions inspire measured fan reaction. It's Friday, September 2nd, and you'll hear about that story and more this week in Understatements. Actually, This Week in Star Wars is your source for new and noteworthy developments from the galaxy far, far away. And now, this week's lead story. The past several days have shown us that nothing will inspire more fanboy outrage than new changes to the original Star Wars trilogy. We've also apparently learned that nothing is more amusing to non-Star Wars fans than watching Star Wars fans fight, as the mainstream media has fanned the flames of fan overreaction to new changes to The Return of the Jedi, which were leaked earlier this week. The New York Times blog reported a number of changes earlier this week to the original and prequel trilogies that will be contained in the Star Wars Blu-ray collection, which is being released later this month. The changes that seemed to concern fans the most were focused on Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. This included the addition of new CGI characters to the Jabba's palace scenes, the addition of eye blinking to the Ewoks, but most noticeably and outrageously, at least to those who were outraged by it, was the addition of dialogue to the climactic throne room scene. Most specifically, Darth Vader now says and then shouts the word "no" as he confronts the Emperor and throws him into the reactor shaft.
Oh no.
Reactions from some segments of the fan community were swift and unforgiving. For instance, the overall customer rating for the Blu-ray set on Amazon.com quickly plummeted as several hundred one-star reviews were posted within the 24 hours following the release of the new footage. Reactions and overreactions aside, there is no word at this time from Lucasfilm as to whether these new lines of dialogue were newly recorded by James Earl Jones specifically for the Blu-ray release, or whether they were lifted from other parts of the trilogy. Also, no word as to whether there will be additional changes that we will learn about only when we have the discs in our hands, or perhaps in the 2 weeks between now and its release. If you are looking forward to watching the discs and have pre-ordered them from Amazon, you may wish to go in and check your order status. Many fans across the internet are reporting that, despite the September 16th release date, their estimated delivery is much later in the month, or possibly as late as October. This seems to be true even for those fans who placed their pre-order many months ago. Likewise, paid members of Amazon's Amazon Prime membership do not seem to be receiving any advantage on that shipping date. Further, Amazon is not currently offering one-day shipping for the set. Some have pointed out that these dates may simply be placeholders until Amazon finalizes their shipping arrangements, but as of yet, there is no clarification on that point from the retailer itself. Of course, one option to avoid potential Amazon disappointment is to suck it up and buy the Blu-ray collection at a local retailer, many of whom will no doubt be offering special giveaway incentives for those who choose to buy the collection from their stores. In addition to the Best Buy lithograph reported earlier, Walmart has now let it be known that they will be offering an exclusive Boba Fett poster to the first 50 people at each store which buy the collection at midnight on the 16th. According to Walmart.com, the world's largest retailer will be offering the collection for the same price as Amazon.com, $89.99 for the complete collection. Also, you may recall from previous episodes, Walmart will be offering an exclusive version of the LEGO Star Wars movie The Padawan Menace on DVD, featuring an exclusive Han Solo minifig. As other retailers announce whatever potential incentives they will be offering, we will report them to you on This Week in Star Wars, and we will post links on our Facebook page. The Star Wars Blu-ray saga will be available 2 weeks from the date of this recording, Friday, September 16th. If you can't wait that long to see the saga in high definition, or wish to see it again without the new Blu-ray changes, or simply enjoy commercial interruptions, Spike is your channel of choice on this Labor Day weekend. As they seem apt to do on almost every American holiday, the channel of Lucasfilm's choice will be showing a selection of the films on each day of the 3-day weekend. In order to mix it up this time, however, Spike will be showing new footage of the Lucasfilm archives, hosted by the stars of their program, Auction Hunters, which I haven't seen but can't be as good as Storage Wars. The Spike press release also says that there will be exclusive preview footage from the Blu-rays during the marathon, as well as a contest for those who enter with a chance to win the Blu-ray set or Hasbro lightsabers. A link to the press release is available on This Week in Star Wars Facebook page. Hasbro has resurrected the Fans' Choice program, which allows Star Wars collectors to vote for an upcoming figure from the Star Wars 3 3/4-inch Hasbro line. Working in conjunction with a number of popular fan sites and Rebel Scum, each site is being asked to gather a list of the 10 figures most wanted by their readers. Hasbro will then correlate these results and post on the Star Wars Insider webpage the 20 most requested figures. Fans will then be allowed to vote on the Star Wars Insider webpage for the one figure that will join the line in 2013. Hasbro will announce the winner at next year's Toy Fair in February. The participating sites have been asked to complete their voting by September 28th. The finalists will be announced in October, and voting will conclude on December 1st. While Hasbro's announcement does mention that the winning figure will be produced during the same year as the 30th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, there is no requirement or restriction as to the source of the figure. Perhaps most interestingly, the announcement also mentions that any figure selected from the Clone Wars animated TV show will be sculpted in a realistic, i.e. lifelike, mold. Further details are available on the participating fan websites. Shoppers at Toys R Us will notice that Star Wars is now featured prominently at the front of the stores following a recent retail reset. If you can pull yourself away from Spike TV this weekend, the House of Giraffe is also offering a number of Star Wars items on a special Labor Day promotion running from Friday, September the 2nd through Monday the 5th, which include $25 off of last year's Rise of Boba Fett Battle Pack, $30 off the Imperial Walker. The promotion also includes a somewhat rare sale on Star Wars Legos, $25 off of a $100 brick purchase, or $10 off of a $50 purchase. There is also a buy one, get one for half off on all Star Wars books, and other additional items are on sale and can be seen on the Toys R Us website or most likely in your weekend newspapers. High-end retailer Gentle Giant has made 2 new products available for pre-order on their website. First is the AT-RT and Driver statue. The piece is an exclusive to the Gentle Giant website and retails for $250. The second new piece is a Han Solo in Bespin Fatigues mini bust. The piece is exclusively available to Premier Guild Club members and retails for $65. At your local comic book shop this week, only one new publication from Dark Horse, and that is the latest in the Star Wars Adventures Digest series, this episode featuring a new Chewbacca story. Next week, we can expect to see Dark Times number 19 from Dark Horse, and at bookstores will be the long-awaited annotated version of Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire 20th Anniversary Edition, as well as a book-only version of The Jedi Path, which was previously only available with the flashy vault packaging. Both of these titles are available for order on Amazon.com, and as always, we would appreciate it if you could use the This Week in Star Wars affiliate link at thisweekinstarwars.com. Lastly this week, the first half of 2011 has been very good for Star Wars licensee LEGO. The Danish brickmaker reported an increase in profits of over 32%, with double-digit growth in every country except for earthquake and tsunami-rattled Japan. According to the Danish plastic brickmaker, these sales increases are due in no small part to higher-than-expected sales of Star Wars-branded product. Coincidentally, if you would like to further contribute to the Danish gross national product, the massive Lego rendering of the Executor is now available on the Lego website and in Lego stores. Over 3,000 pieces and clocking in at just under $400. Quantities are limited to 5 per customer. Okay, let's do this again. Repeat after me. They're my memories, but they're his movies. In other words, for good or bad, right or wrong, better or worse, George Lucas can and will tinker with these movies until the day he dies. Every time this happens, I find it shocking that there are a number of die-hard fanboys out there who haven't come to grips with this yet. Even in '77, when it was called Star Wars, there were at least 3 different versions: the 70mm print, the stereo, the mono. And then, almost immediately when it was re-released, it had a new name and an episode number. To quote another franchise, all of this has happened before and all of it will happen again. If you loved them the way they always were, be happy that you got the DVD a couple years ago, even if it's just a crappy transfer from the early 90s Laserdisc version. Treasure those discs, because I bet real money that that's the juiciest bone the man is ever going to throw you. And when the films are changed again in 3D or Super Duper Blu-ray or whatever comes next, you're going to pine for these versions that you are so vociferously denouncing now. And it ain't that bad. For every really bad change, there's 10 good ones. Admit that to yourself and come to peace with it. Well, I'd love to hear what you think about the changes to the Blu-ray, or the prospect of 3D films, or the special editions versus the original, or the prequels versus the original trilogy. I encourage you to go to our Facebook page and start a discussion thread. Just keep it clean, refrain from attacking your fellow listeners, and don't compare anyone to Hitler. And that was This Week in Star Wars. Join us again next week for more news, notes, and developments from the galaxy far, far away. Visit our website, www.thisweekinstarwars.com, or if you're in a hurry, www.twisw.com. There you can find past episodes, links to some of the stories we discussed, as well as photo galleries and other interesting Star Wars-related tidbits. You can also find links to the other realms of the This Week in Star Wars media empire, including our breaking news Twitter feed, our Facebook page, as well as links to email addresses where you can contact the show. If you have questions or comments or news suggestions, we encourage you to contact us at host@thisweekinstarwars.com. Help us grow the community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive review at iTunes. You've been listening to This Week in Star Wars. We troll the web so you don't have to.
This Week in Star Wars is not affiliated with Lucasfilm, its subsidiaries, or any other entity mentioned in this podcast. Star Wars, its characters, and creations are the property of Lucasfilm. All other trademarks are property of their respective trademark owners. This Week in Star Wars is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. This podcast is copyright 2010 This Week in Star Wars. Invaluable technical assistance provided by WebStorm Interactive. News, comments, and questions can be directed to host@thisweekinstarwars.com. More information, links to stories presented, past episodes, and additional contact information are available at www.thisweekinstarwars.com.